So as Cheech Marin once said, things are tough all over. So I thought I'd talk today about the best free or affordable streaming services for horror and B-movie fans. Everyone wants to save money at the moment. I'm no different. My wallet is as tight as a fisher's proverbial. So I thought I'd take a few minutes while I'm out on a walk today to talk about the best free or at least very affordable streaming services for the average horror movie fan, exploitation movie fan, B-movie fan. And the first one I'd like to talk about is an Australian streaming service. It's called SBS On Demand, and I'll leave a link in the description for that one. So SBS On Demand's quite important for your foreign films if you're a horror fan or a fan of cult cinema or of exploitation. So this is sort of a one-stop shop if you're in Australia or if you're overseas with a good VPN. And this one, of course, does have foreign films, plethora of content in that regard, cult movies, B-movies, exploitation movies, and art house movies. So something for everyone. It is free, which is great, paid for by the Australian taxpayer, of course. So you might as well take advantage if you're paying for it, or take advantage if you're overseas with a VPN. So definitely check out SBS On Demand. And the second one on the list, of course, is Tubi. So Tubi is my personal favourite resource for free content online in terms of horror and exploitation, cult cinema, B-movies. You really can't go too far wrong with Tubi. They have the best content online in terms of this sort of stuff, bar none. And they're completely free, just with commercial breaks, but you can't have everything. I'd personally rather that than really pay Netflix money for it. So Tubi's comes highly recommended as the second choice on my list. And I'll leave a link to Tubi below in the description, but I'm sure you're all already all over it. The other secret with Tubi, of course, is if someone does have a VPN, they can basically access Tubi from different countries around the world, access different content in much the same way as you use your VPN for anything else. So, well worth checking out Tubi for horror, exploitation, cult cinema, B-movie fans, art house film fans, and basically all the kinds of cinema that we do cover here at Fulci Metal Jacket. Now, the third one's a little different. It's not worthwhile by and large for the content, but it is worthwhile for what it offers as part of the package. So this is Amazon Prime. I don't really watch a great deal on Amazon Prime. The content is a bit lackluster in terms of my taste, I guess. Some of your family and friends that have different tastes in cinema may enjoy it, but I don't find a great deal to offer on there. But the important thing about Amazon Prime is not only does it give you free streaming content, it does give you Amazon Prime basically, so it gives you free shipping on anything from Amazon. And this is especially useful for fans of B-movies, cult cinema, horror movies, exploitation movies, art house. Because let's face it, we are quite partial to physical media, and most of us do enjoy physical media a lot even to this day. And we often prefer physical media to streaming, so Amazon Prime is a worthwhile outlay of, I think it's $5 or $6 a month or something like that. And it's worth it just for that free shipping. Next time you want to buy the latest special edition of something, you might as well get it with free shipping at the best price from Amazon Prime. And support globalism. So that's Amazon Prime. So we've discussed SBS On Demand, which is great if you're in Australia or if you're overseas with a VPN for the foreign cinema aspect of the world of horror, exploitation, B-movies, cult films, and art house. And we've gone into Tubi, which is great as well. That's got a ton of content for fans of this sort of cinema. Fans of mainstream cinema won't find much of anything on Tubi, just to be warned. But if you have offbeat sort of tastes, as I do, then Tubi's a great way to go, and I think it's the superior streaming service available, personally. And the final one probably won't be surprising to most of you if you're already here, because you are already here, which is YouTube. So YouTube has a lot of great content. Not only is there kind of grey area type content, uploads that aren't quite above board, I guess, in terms of copyright and so on and so forth, but they are getting more legitimate releases streaming on YouTube, sorry. You'll see that they're streaming quite a few movies now with ads, and the money's going to the right people and so on and so forth, which is probably the way it should be. And most importantly, these legitimate streaming releases on YouTube seem to be high definition and the best possible release from the companies that are putting in the effort with these releases, so that can only be a good thing. You might have to sit through a few ads, but you have to sit through a few ads anyway. And there's always YouTube Premium as an option. But aside from Tubi, YouTube's probably your best option for accessing free or inexpensive horror films, B-movies, exploitation movies, art house films, and just generally the kinds of movies that we talk about here on Fulci Metal Jacket that lurk and loiter on the fringes of mainstream cinema. So there are quite a few good options. I'd rate any one of these options above any of the more expensive options like Netflix and Shudder and Peacock or Hulu or Paramount Plus or any of those. Might just be my opinion, but I think a lot of those streaming services are way overpriced and they're much ado about nothing and not a great deal of content that really interests me. And I'm a bit old school, so I'd rather have something like Amazon Prime where I can get that free delivery, or I'd at least rather not be paying any money like as is the case with Tubi or SBS On Demand and especially YouTube. So they're obviously three really good value propositions because they're all free. So if you're a bit tight like I am, a bit thrifty, a bit frugal, and who isn't these days? Because as I said, things are tough all over, as was the title of the Cheech and Chong movie from about 1982. So you got to save money where you can, especially when it comes to entertainment. I don't think many of us mind spending money on physical media, but it does feel a little bit distasteful to try and to subscribe to things that you don't own and be forking out money month after month for 17 different streaming services. It's all a bit of a rip-off and a bit of classic exploitation in the purest sense of the word. So it is good to avoid these monetized, for want of a better term, streaming services like Netflix and Hulu or Peacock or Stan or whatever they are. They're just not very good value for money compared to things like SBS On Demand, Tubi, Amazon Prime or YouTube for the average fan of horror films, cult movies, exploitation, blaxploitation, kung fu movies, you name it. They're all to be found on streaming services like SBS On Demand, Tubi, Amazon Prime and YouTube. So I'll leave the links to all of those, aside from YouTube of course, in the description, so you can check them out. And those of you outside of Australia might have a bit of trouble with SBS On Demand, but I'm sure there's ways and means with VPNs and things like that for those of you who are more tech savvy than I am and are into that sort of thing. But as for Australians, it's very easy to access SBS On Demand. They've got some great content there. So thanks for joining me again here on Fulci Metal Jacket. If you've visited before, if you're brand new and you enjoyed this content, it's a little bit of a different video to what I normally do. Normally it's film reviews for the most part, whether it's horror, exploitation, cult cinema, B-movies, art house films, just basically anything that isn't a Marvel movie, I guess, for want of a better word. So if you enjoy that sort of content and you'd like to see more, please like, share and subscribe. And if you have any thoughts on what you think are the best value streaming services for horror fans, for exploitation fans, for B-movie fans, I'd be interested to hear about those in the comments below. And I'm off to enjoy the rest of my day, and I hope you do the same. Look forward to seeing you next time.